Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Kelly. Welcome to Be in the Change. I'm going to get started by reciting my inspiration. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. I'd like to say welcome back to everybody who's seen me before and has been following me on this journey, and thank you, and welcome to everybody who's watching me for the first time. I started this in 2019 stating I was breaking up with fear, I was breaking up with shame, and I was breaking up with guilt, followed by a weekly video every week for an entire year. It's almost the end of year 3 and I'm still going strong. My 2020 New Year's resolution was to be kinder and more compassionate to myself and others. And my New Year's resolution for 2021 was to break up with processed sugar, which I did great for until last week, and I ended up having it spiraling down, and I had a really shitty week, like pain-wise. My body hurt so bad. You know, food tasted so good, and my body paid for it. So I had to get back off of the sugar, and it kicks my ass. I have physical side effects from eating sugar, and I am so emotionally, spiritually, and physically connected to myself that I feel things immediately. I used to not be able to talk about things until, like, I would tell you about an explosion after it happened, and I am now able to tell you guys if I smell smoke. So this process has changed for me. I used to not be able to talk about things until way after they happened, until after I healed from them, and then come back and tell you how great I did, instead of like, holy crap, this is happening and I don't know what I'm doing or how I'm gonna do this or get through this. And I now can tell people when I smell smoke, which is huge. And I know a lot of people are not able to talk about things before they happen, as they happen, and even after they have happened. And I've been given the gift of my voice back. And, you know, I was doing my video last week about Thanksgiving and family, and how I'm the first one in my family who stopped the cycle of pretending things were okay when they weren't. And you know what I have found out when I started doing these videos, my worst fear was having haters. And my son Angelo assured me I wasn't good enough to have haters. But what has happened to me since I've started these videos is I realized no one could hurt or hate me more than I used to. I hated myself. When I first started, when I came out of my disease, started to come out of my disease of alcoholism, I hated and despised myself so much that I thought everybody else did too. And I never realized that however I felt about myself, I found people who supported that. So when I felt shitty, I found people that helped me feel shitty. When I thought everybody was out to get me, I found people who told me they were out to get me. Like all of these phases in my life, I found people to meet me where I was. And I am now finding people who can meet me where I am, which is I live in love, I live in compassion, I live in support, and I have resources to help people, which I never used to. So I don't have cable TV anymore. I chose to get rid of it, and part of it is I can't afford it because I don't have a physical job where I get paid. I'm on Social Security disability. I get food stamps. I get help with my electric. I am not physically working outside of the home right now. And as a result of that, I got rid of my cable, but I can see things on YouTube. And I realize when I see what's happening in the world, first of all, I feel like I'm not missing much. It's helping me not feed anxiety and fear nearly as much as I used to, which I see all throughout the world and I feel it. I can feel other people's energy. And, you know, we're in this world that is trying to blame everybody else for our problems. And I used to do it too. I used to blame other people for all of my problems. If I had this, it's because you did this to me. If this happened to me, it's because I'm reacting off of what you did. And I never knew I was doing this stuff, by the way. And it was so much easier to point out what everybody else was doing wrong. And what that did is it fed my sickness. And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I have learned how to forgive myself and how to forgive others. And just because I forgive people, just because I accept where they are, doesn't mean approval. I heard my friend say, acceptance doesn't mean approval. So I accept where people are, but I might not approve of it. But throwing stones when you live in a glass house is not cool. And name calling, going after people, this is so wrong. What can I do to help support you? That's what I'm able to do now. What can I do to help support you? If you come after me, attacking me, I am not going to want to be friends with you. I am not going to want to hear what you have to say. I am not going to want to be around you. If you're pointing out everything that you think is wrong with me, it's actually what isn't right about you. And did you guys ever hear that expression, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you? I really am rubber. And I know everything that people are saying to me or about me that is negative or criticism has nothing to do with me. And I'm going to give you guys an example because I want to tell you about a story. I'll give you a story of what used to happen to me and how I thought it was me. So I used to go rollerblading at this park near my house. And every time I went rollerblading, I would wear my headphones. And one day this lady out of nowhere, she stopped me and I thought she's going to ask me, what kind of rollerblades do you have? And she was like, I met a guy online and he wants me to give him money. And I'm like, don't give him any money. So I went on my way. I thought it was weird that she asked me that, and I kept going. And then the next day I go back and she's like, oh my God, I got to talk to you. And I ended up tiptoeing on my rollerblades and I didn't get my exercise in. So I'm tiptoeing around on my rollerblades and she's telling me her whole life story. And at the end, she's like, this was great. And I was like, I didn't even break a sweat. So instead of telling her this wasn't good for me or I didn't get my exercise in today, what I decided to do, instead of speaking up because I couldn't, I'm like, okay, don't go at 4 o'clock. So I decided the next time I went to go at a different time. And guess what? Same lady is still there. And she's like, I have to talk to you. And I'm like, I'm in a hurry today. So I went around and I got done. And then the next time I went at a different time. I'll go at 6 o'clock. Same lady still there. So I go and I say to her, I'm in a hurry today. And she turned around so that she could face me and talk to me when I was coming by. And I'm like, she goes, you're always in a hurry. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, when she turned around to face me, her face was like black and blue. And she told me she met this guy on the internet and he beat her up. And I'm like, oh my God, you need to go and get help. And she stopped talking to me. And I used to think, oh my God, why do these people find me? And she obviously needed help. She was attracted to abusive men. And a lot of times, if you are attracted to abusive men, it's not your fault, but not going to get help as a result of this. Like, you have to go get help. It's hard to break the cycle without help. You don't just go get a different person and you're not attracted to abusive men anymore. Like, you have to go get help in order to change the cycle. So she stopped talking to me, and what happened was she found somebody else to talk to. When I told her I wasn't going to be able to help her or suggested something she wasn't ready for, she found somebody else to go talk to. So what I realized is these people don't find me. They find anybody. When you are trying to feed your sickness, you will find people who will help you stay sick. You're like, I was like this too. I totally was. Spaghetti. Think of spaghetti when it cooks. Like, I throw spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks. And I think I was spaghetti. I would throw myself against anybody I could stick to at the time. And when I couldn't stick to somebody, I threw myself at somebody else. And I now have realized I don't need to throw myself at anybody. I needed to look in the mirror and start to realize why I don't have boundaries. And when you start to get boundaries, people don't like it. It's hard. And a lot of times with getting boundaries is I don't just say something one time. I have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again to the same people. And then I have to take an action, which is I'm not going to be able to support this. So I need to walk away, or I need to move, or I need to do something different. So thank you to everyone who's watching me. Please stay tuned. I will see you all next week. Take care.